Good evening, friends, and Happy New Year. It's 2024. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon. You know the drill. I'm a retired New York City police detective and a 9/11 World Trade Center first responder. If you like all things true crime related from the police detective's perspective, you're in the right spot. Hit the thumbs up, hit the notification, subscribe, and you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or upload another video. Tonight, I'm just going to talk to you quickly. It's going to be a short one. We're going to be talking about the Soto Guerra case. Out of San Antonio, Texas, a lot of people are talking about it. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of online rumors, as always, with cyber sleuths, people looking at Facebook. I like to call it fake book. People are looking at social media and drawing conclusions. We all know that it looks ugly when you look at the social media pages of her boyfriend. And you know, again, one could draw conclusions from their online footprint. Police are looking at it. Law enforcement who's investigating this case, they're certainly looking at it. But we heard over the weekend from the district attorney, and the district attorney made a couple of statements and said a couple of things that I caught on to that made me say, looks like we may have something brewing here in this case. And that's a good thing, because the savage beast who committed this heinous murder, or beasts, plural, who committed this heinous murder of 2 young adults and an unborn full-term pregnancy, an unborn full-term pregnancy child, another person. That is a person, a little baby. Whoever is involved in this are demonic and evil. They're running around in the streets or wherever free to commit this type of crime. They need to be brought to justice. They need to be put behind bars. They need to be locked up, because this type of crime is something that you just don't see often. Savagery. So I want to just say a special thank you to the Patreon supporters, the channel members. We're going to get right into it. My channel members, the moderators, we hit over 200,000 subscribers right before the end of the year. And I want to just say thank you. On behalf of Ed Wallace and myself, I want to thank you, our people who come here every day, our friends, our community, the people who hit the thumbs up and leave comments and questions and all of the engagement. I want to say thank you personally to each and every one of you guys, because you guys are what made it happen. Couldn't do it without you, and we thank you. So Happy New Year. Thank you for being here. We got good things happening in 2024, and stick around and you'll get to see. But listen, by a show of hands here, put a 1 in the chat if you heard the statement by the district attorney. I believe his name is Joe Perez. Hold on, I'm going to get crucified for this one, because I don't think it's Joe Gonzalez. Okay, correction. I'm human. I'm only human. Joe Gonzalez, the district attorney who's handling this case, made a statement. It looked like he was in his car, and he said something. And I'm going to ask you guys, put a 1 in the chat if you heard this interview. It's very short. Put a 2 in the chat if you haven't. I'd like to see how many people are listening. So Hitman didn't hear it. Barbara George is here. She didn't hear it. Heaven Rains didn't hear it. Darlene Wolf, a lot of you guys didn't hear this, but I want you to pay close attention to this, because as a retired New York City police detective and someone who has covered a lot of different crimes over my 2 decades as a New York City police officer and detective, I caught on to something, because I dealt with the district attorney's office quite a bit. So I want you to take a listen. Let's dig in. Let's listen to this, and I'll come back and we'll do some Q&A. And we'll see what if you guys picked up what this district attorney said. So here we go.
And whatever you do, please be safe out there. It was a week ago today we first reported about a missing pregnant teen and her boyfriend. And now police are searching for whoever's responsible for killing Savanah Soto, her unborn baby, and Matthew Guerra.
KENS 5 reporter Megan Reyna spoke with the district attorney about what punishment could come with this capital murder case.
District Attorney Joe Gonzalez says this is a capital murder investigation because it involves multiple victims, including an unborn baby. That means a suspect or suspects could face life in prison without parole or the death penalty. He says it's just too soon to say if his office will seek the death penalty, but he believes police will make an arrest soon.
In the event that happens, certainly that is something that we would potentially consider.
Gonzalez says his office has a capital crimes committee that votes on whether to seek the death penalty in certain cases. Since Gonzalez has been in office, he's prosecuted more than 100 capital murder cases.
We've only made the election to seek death twice in my office during my administration, one of which we resolved before it went to trial.
The one that went to trial was a case of Otis McCain. He murdered San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi in 2016.
We have discussions about obviously how egregious a case is, what makes this a capital murder case. Other issues, for example, is whether or not this defendant is a continuing threat to society. Because
he says they also consider the family's wishes.
We're going to do, I've said this before, we're going to do everything possible to ensure that these individuals, when they're caught, and I'm confident that they will be caught and charged with capital murder, that we hold them accountable and that we do everything to bring justice to the memory of both Savanah, Soto, and Matthew Guerra.
Gonzalez is just urging anyone with information to reach out to SAPD. We have that number on our website, kins5.com.
All right, I'm going to stop it there and I'm going to put it back. I'm not going to play it right now, but I'm going to put myself back on the screen. The district attorney first said whoever. He made a reference to not plural. Second time he said perpetrators. But the first time he said the perpetrator that committed this crime. I feel we're going to make an arrest soon. So it makes me think, as a detective and as someone who's worked cases, that perhaps there's one individual that they're looking for, because he corrects himself after he makes that boo-boo. And he's saying to himself, and this is me thinking out loud, oh, I can't give away the shop. And I just did. So let's see, let's play it again, and let's take a listen closely to the part where he says about the arrest being imminent.
Only made the election to
Since Gonzalez votes on whether Gonzalez,
in the event that happens, certainly that is something that we would potentially consider.
Gonzalez says his office has a capital crimes committee that votes on whether to seek the death penalty in certain cases. Since Gonzalez has been in office, he's prosecuted more than 100 capital murder cases.
We've only made the election to seek death twice in my office during my administration, one of which we resolved before it went to trial.
The one that went to trial was a case of Otis McCain. He murdered San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi in 2016.
We have discussions about obviously how egregious a case is, what makes this a capital murder case. Other issues, for example, is whether or not this defendant is
whether or not this defendant. So it's right there at the 1 minute and 26 second mark. He says, one of the questions that we have is whether this defendant, he didn't say these defendants, plural. He said the defendant. So I caught that right away and I said, he corrects it in the next sentence that he makes. So let's listen to it here.
Whether or not this defendant is a continuing threat to society. Because
he says they also consider the families.
So again, this is a pre-recorded interview that they did with him. So the news cuts away here and they cut it up and edit. That was in a continuous conversation. And then I come back and then in his next sentence, he corrects it and says defendants. But at 126, my spidey sense, and as a seasoned detective, makes me say they got the cell phone records, they did all of the forensics, they have one perpetrator. I'll put my stamp on that. If I'm wrong, I'll admit to it, but I don't think I'm wrong.
Wishes.
We're going to do, I've said this before, we're going to do everything possible to ensure that these individuals, when they're caught, and I'm confident that they will be caught and charged with capital murder, that we hold them accountable and that we do every case. Other issues, for example, is whether or not this defendant is a continuing threat to society. Because
He says they also consider the family's wishes.
we're going to do, I've said this before, we're going to do everything possible to ensure that these individuals, when they're caught, and I'm confident that they will be caught and charged with capital murder, that we hold.
Okay, so it was all in one statement. So there you have it. Again, I'm saying, and I hope and pray, I hope to God that they take this individual off the street so he or she cannot do this and create the havoc that they created for these families. And listen, I put the victims and their families first. I know that when you look at their social media profiles, Matthew Guerra is not living his life right. That's a fact. Soto's brother was not living his life right as well, Ethan. But may they all rest in peace, no matter what their choices were. The real victims here are still alive. It's the families, the grandmother, the extended families, the people who live in the community that now have to say, oh my God, there's somebody running around here, whether they're a gang member or not, it doesn't matter, that kills babies in the womb, that'll shoot a mother in the head while she's full-term pregnant, while she has a full-term pregnancy. That's the, hold on, I got to take my cover off. That's the up part. And I did say the F word. That's the effed up part. I had to take my cover off of my, that's what people need to concentrate on, is that there's a brutal, vicious, ruthless murderer that's run around San Antonio and hasn't been caught yet. What about all the people who abide by the law that are living in fear right now? What about the elderly, the young? Who would want to send their kids outside knowing that this is around? This guy's running around. I know it's not a great area. Listen, I patrolled New York City housing, public housing. I know about gangs, guns, drugs, all of that stuff. But you can't be a prisoner in your own home. You got to go out to get groceries. You got to go outside. So it's crazy. It's crazy, but true. So I'm going to put it back and then I'll let it go all the way. I'm going to let it play all the way once. And then I have one more because there was a vigil for Matthew and his family spoke. I want you guys to hear what his family had to say. So let's let the rest of this play, and I'll let you listen to the parents of Matthew talk, his stepmom and his father.
It was a week ago today we first reported about a missing pregnant teen and her boyfriend. And now police are searching for whoever's responsible for killing Savanah Soto, her unborn baby, and Matthew Guerra.
KENS 5 reporter Megan Reina spoke with the district attorney about what punishment could come with this capital murder case.
District Attorney Joe Gonzalez says this is a capital murder investigation because it involves multiple victims, including an unborn baby. That means a suspect or suspects could face life in prison without parole or the death penalty. He says it's just too soon to say if his office will seek the death penalty, but he believes police will make an arrest soon.
In the event that happens, certainly that is something that we would potentially consider.
Gonzalez says his office has a capital crimes committee that votes on whether to seek the death penalty in certain cases. Since Gonzalez has been in office, he's prosecuted more than 100 capital murder cases.
We've only made the election to seek death twice in my office during my administration, one of which we resolved before it went to trial.
The one that went to trial was a case of Otis McCain. He murdered San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi in 2016.
We have discussions about obviously how egregious a case is, what makes this a capital murder case. Other issues, for example, is whether or not this defendant is a continuing threat to society.
Whether or not this defendant.
He says they also consider the family's wishes.
We're going to do, I've said this before, we're going to do everything possible to ensure that these individuals, when they're caught, and I'm confident that they will be caught and charged with capital murder, that we hold them accountable and that we do everything to bring justice to the memory of both Savanah, Soto, and Matthew Guerra.
Gonzalez is just urging anyone with information to reach out to SAPD. We have that number on our website, kins5.com. Reporting in the newsroom.
So again, I don't know anything about the track record of the wins and losses, the trials that he won, or trials that he lost. So I am at a disadvantage. I don't know how skilled this district attorney is, but I hope and pray that he has what it takes to successfully prosecute a capital punishment case, because that's what this is going to be. So it looks like there's a lot of people who are pressing ones and twos. I think it looks like we have a pretty fair amount of people on both sides of this fence. Some of you think it's one perpetrator, some of you think it's two. When I looked at the video, that video in the parking lot, you'd have to say that there has to be at least multiple accessories. People don't forget, the people who are driving that vehicle, or the person, it may be one or more in the Kia, and it may be one or more, as we talked about extensively, in the Silverado, in the pickup, in the black pickup truck. Definitely one or more in the black pickup, because you saw the towel get thrown out on the front seat. But when it comes to this, the actual person who killed both of these individuals, whether it was one or more, those are the people who are going to be standing these capital murder charges. The people who may have helped, example, driven that car with or without the bodies in it, there's different charges for them. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens in the state of Texas, and we'll see. But let's take a listen to the parents. Let's take a listen to his parents, because they talk here. And I didn't get a chance to listen to all of this, but it's really only 2 minutes. So let's take a listen. Let me know what your thoughts are. And I appreciate everyone being civil in the chat, because we could always agree to disagree. And again, this is a case that has a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that are happening here. Guns, drugs, and a lot of illegal activities are being put out there onto social media that are being posted. There's posts and there's arrest records that we all know and see. They're public records. It's a fact that Matthew wasn't a choir boy. That's for sure.
Our top story now at 5. The family of a man murdered with his pregnant girlfriend are gathering to remember his life. Matthew Guerra and Savanah Soto were found dead last Tuesday afternoon. San Antonio police have not given any updates in the case since releasing this surveillance video showing 2 persons of interest, one of them driving Soto's car. KENS 5's Megan Reyna has been following the story, and she joins us live now from the vigil at Woodlawn Lake Park. Megan?
Well, Deborah, the vigil just wrapped up moments ago. We know Matthew's father just wants him to be remembered as an energetic young man who was eager to become a father. And moments ago, the family did release balloons. They were praying as well, and they shared stories about Matthew. They never expected to have to start off the new year without him and then having to remember him. Instead, they were hoping to build memories, new memories with Savanah and baby Fabian. Now, of course, the family left grieving, but also searching for justice. Now, here's what Matthew's father had to say to the people who killed his son, Savanah, and baby Fabian.
I believe that there's nothing you can do or nowhere you can go that you can escape the consequences that are coming for this horrible crime that was been committed, and to turn yourself in.
Days ago, police released a surveillance video looking for 2 persons of interest.
How many people feel that the big guy, the heavyset guy that's got out of that car, how many of you guys feel that he had something underneath his shirt, or was that in fact his gut? Press a 1 if you think it's stuff underneath his shirt, something stuffed under there. Press a 2 if you think it's his gut, and you could press a 3 if you think it's a combination of the both, because I see so many questions and I've got so many people inquiring about that to me on DutyRon.com. A lot of people are pressing ones. I see a couple of twos. I didn't see any threes yet. Oh, Sharon, Miley, number 3. We'll take a look back.
Days ago, police released a surveillance video looking for 2 persons of interest seen here. Released a surveillance video looking for 2 police. Days ago, police released. Days ago, police released.
Sorry, I'll shut that off so you don't have to keep hearing us say it. What do you think? Something stuffed under there?
Looking for 2 persons of interest seen here. One was driving the silver Kia Optima belonging to the victims, and the other was driving a Chevy Silverado. This is a capital murder investigation. Police asking anyone with information to give them a call. You can even remain anonymous. We have that information for you on our website, kins5.com. Reporting from the West Side, Megan Reyna, Kins 5.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Many moving parts to this case. Many people potentially involved. And again, accessory to these capital murders, some of the people that might have been in the car may have been more involved. Nobody knows. Nobody has access to the case file and how the laws of the land in Texas are apply, So I know in New York, if you're there, look, I've had people who I've arrested who robbed a gunpoint a jewelry store. The people that were driving the car, the getaway car, got charged with the same charges. So when it's capital murder, it's a little different. So we have to look into the laws, and I'll do that myself. I'll look into it. Southwest 4x4 says, does the rule apply if you were there? Even if you didn't pull the trigger, are you still guilty? Happy New Year. I'm not a criminal defense attorney. I'm going to consult with my good friend Pete Carrasco, who is a former district attorney and also a criminal defense attorney. And we'll get it from him because I'm not an expert on that. I definitely know how to lock somebody up and know how to, fine. I worked in fugitive enforcement, so I know how to find bad people. But when it comes to the law, you have to apply the laws of Texas. So Tina is saying, yes, in Texas, if you're there, you get charged. Again, this is a death penalty case. They said that they will seek the death penalty. There's a committee that convenes. We'll take a listen to that one more time. The district attorney, Joe Gonzalez, made a statement. But I want to look at the video again, if you guys don't mind. How many of us here would like to see? I know probably many channels have played that video over and over again, but I got about 7 more minutes. So if you want to see that video again, we'll go over it slowly. Just let me know in the chat. Put a 1 if you want to see the video. If you'd rather not see it, just put a 2. And then if the 1s outweigh the 2s, I'll play them. If the 2s outweigh the 1s, I won't. But let me go to the super chats while that poll starts rocking and rolling. Let me say thank you to Sally for being a member. Charisma, thank you for 23 months of being a member. That's a long time. I really appreciate you, Charisma. Hi, HSIN, thank you for the $5 super sticker. Mimi, oh, it's always so great to see you, Mimi Viz. I love and respect you tremendously. And thank you for everything that you did to help me spread the awareness for our boys, Sincere and Classic in Bakersfield, California. You are an angel. No better. I really, say this with extreme conviction. You're a good soul. You're a good person. Judy, thank you for gifting a membership. Southwest, I highlighted yours. Thank you. 411 Will, hey, thank you for the super chat. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. Thank you again, HSIN, for another $5. And Pam, thank you for being a member for, holy crap, 26 months. God bless. Thank you for being here for a long time. I'm mad that we can't Zoom the video. Yeah, me too. I got to get better with technology. That's what I have to do. But we're going to do it. Good night, okie dokie. Have a good one. Delena, thank you for being here. Delena, thank you. Northern California Cubs fans, good to see you. Yeah, Fluffy Peach, that's a great comment. Whoever did this, sending a message that they're not playing with anyone in the family, they have no mercy for them. Absolutely. And I said that at the top of the show, that these people, or peoples, plural, we don't know how many, very, very brutal to take the life of an unborn, full-term pregnant woman, knowing that she has an unborn son. Maybe these people didn't know the gender of the child, but knowing that she's full term, I'm sure she begged and pleaded for her life and her son's life. To do that, it takes a special kind of evil. And these people should not be walking free amongst us, because that is the most heinous act, criminal act. That's not even human. That's subhuman, folks. So when you see stuff like this, it's just despicable beyond. Crazy. A special kind of crazy. A special kind of evil. I mean, here, look. There's Savanah on the screen. Full-term pregnant. 9 months. You just shoot him in the back of the head. Demonic. Absolutely. T Celsa 333. Demonic. Yes. All right. We'll listen to the district attorney and then we'll wrap it up. 2,700 people chatting. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing to this community. Ed Wallace and myself, retired NYPD detectives, 27 years with Ed, 20 years with me. Ed is a crime scene and a CSI expert. You're going to get a great education when you come here. We're going to be covering this case from every angle, all angles. We're going to cover it. So here we go. This is the district attorney. Absolutely, Hokatube, pure evil. Pure evil. Yes.
Please be safe out there. Mike, and whatever you do, please be safe out there. It was a week ago today we first reported about a missing pregnant teen and her boyfriend. And now police are searching for whoever's responsible for killing Savanah Soto, her unborn baby, and Matthew Guerra.
KENS 5 reporter Megan Reyna spoke with the district attorney about what punishment could come with this capital murder case.
District Attorney Joe Gonzalez says this is a capital murder investigation because it involves multiple victims, including an unborn baby. That means a suspect or suspects could face life in prison without parole or the death penalty. He says it's just too soon to say if his office will seek the death penalty, but he believes police will make an arrest soon.
In the event that happens, certainly that is something that we would potentially consider.
Gonzalez says his office has a capital crimes committee that votes on whether to seek the death penalty in certain cases. Since Gonzalez has been in office, he's prosecuted more than 100 capital murder cases.
We've only made the election to seek death twice in my office during my administration.
So twice out of 100 cases, only 2 times. And this one, let me tell you, this one is a ground ball. If he does not go for the death penalty in this case, when the perpetrator or perpetrators are taken into custody, shame on him. But I don't think Joe Gonzalez will not go for the death penalty here, because if there's ever a case that's a ground ball, there is no gray area, this is the one.
One of which we resolved before it went to trial.
The one that went to trial was a case of Otis McCain. He murdered San Antonio Police Detective Benjamin Marconi in 2016.
We have discussions about obviously how egregious a case is, what makes this a capital murder case. Other issues, for example, is whether or not this defendant is a continuing threat to society. Because
he says they also consider the family's wishes.
We're going to do, I've said this before, we're going to do everything possible to ensure that these individuals, when they're caught, and I'm confident that they will be caught and charged with capital murder, that we hold them accountable and that we do everything to bring justice to the memory both Savanah, Soto, and Matthew Guerra.
Gonzalez is just urging anyone with information to reach out to SAPD. We have that number on our
I have the numbers linked here in the description. I'll have it linked in all the descriptions of every one of the videos that we do from this case for San Antonio PD and the homicide squad. So we definitely will, have that available for you to take a peek. All right, so let me grab this video. I have a high def version of it, and we'll play it real quick. Thank you, Mountain Girl 212. Appreciate your support and appreciate you being here. She has a YouTube channel as well. Everyone should go and take a peek over there and check it out. So let's see. I want to make sure I get the right one. There it is. All right. So I want to get it where the car comes. Yeah. Okay. So this is it. I have somebody working on an enhanced zoomed version of this. One of my friends who worked in the Secret Service, who's retired now, he has access to not Secret Service or FBI software. He has his own, and he agreed to process this video for me, a zoomed in version. I'm going to take a look at it, review it with him, just to make sure it doesn't give away any key evidence or key things that we know San Antonio Police Department investigators have already. I don't want to give away anything, but I'm going to review it. He should have it for me tomorrow. So, all right. Take notice of the Kia when it comes around the corner from up here. It's got like a blinker on, and it looked like the blinker was, the headlights were off and the blinker was blinking, and they shut that off real quick. So take a peek at that and watch as they come around the corner right from up here, right where this is a little overhang where you can park a vehicle in the shade right here. This is like a little shady spot for cars, and it's right at the corner. Actually, it looks like the headlights were on there. The headlights were on that vehicle, but when it turned that corner and made the right, they shut it down. And as they shut it down, they had the blinker on. Yeah, that right blinker was on. Gets out. I'm not sure that he's wiping anything there. I think that may be some light from the interior door of that Chevy Silverado. Excuse me. That looks like a light from the door of the Chevy as he walks past it here. So take a peek at that real quick. I'm not sure. I can't wait to get the enhanced version. Reflections with Kimberly Wilson. Thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Thank you. Street light glare, perhaps. It's lingering though. As you can see, it's here and it's lingering. So it may be a light post that's right up over here, perhaps. Goes back, throws that rag in. I'm sure people spent many hours on this thing, looking it over and over again. Yeah, he throws that back in there. See, the white towel or rag or whatever it is right here. And it looks like someone flips it over for him. Like, here you go, boss. You know, some people argue that this could be the cleanup guy. I don't know. You know, again, speculation, pure speculation at this point. You don't know. You don't know if there is actually the bodies of these two. Savanah up here in the passenger side, Matthew in the back. We don't know. The windows are so dark tinted. We don't know if they're in that vehicle or not. People are speculating that they are. We don't know. Nobody has that knowledge. I would not say yes or no whether they're in there. It's possible. It's possible. But we don't know. And you'll see when the car drives by, you cannot see in those windows, period. Is there another angle? Is there another surveillance video that they do not want to share with the public? If they have something that's good, they're not going to share it with the public. You know, it looked like a girl with a ponytail that got out, but it could have very well have been, I'm talking about the driver of the Kia, could have been a male with a ponytail. So you cannot see anything there because it cuts off. Yeah, on the first video, folks, I said here, when the female, I feel it's a female, gets out of the car, he pushes her back in. Almost like she was getting out and saying, I don't want nothing, I'm not doing any more of this, I'm not doing this. And he pushes her back in. You could see it. He shuts the door a little. I don't know if he's wiping the steering wheel. She goes to get up, and he pushes her right back down. She goes down real quick. So, this guy, could be the dashboard. You never know. He definitely pushed her back in. I watched that. I watched that at my office, and I was able to zoom in. But of course, the quality gets real crappy when you zoom in. But I'm going to have my friend. He's been on the channel with me, Charlie. I'm going to have my friend come on, and he's going to do that enhancement, and he'll come on with me, and we'll talk about the enhancement only if we make a decision that it's not going to give up anything key, because I'm not about trying to stop justice from happening. You guys know me, so I'm just looking for something here. Hold on, give me a second. So let me know in the comment section down below what you think, if in fact you feel that the district attorney has their perp or perpetrators on their radar, and an arrest is imminent, is going to happen soon. Let me know if you think that that's going to happen by leaving some comments down below in the comment section. You can always leave us a comment here in the chat, or you could leave it in the comment section down below. It's always appreciated when you guys come on and hang out with us and do that questioning back and forth, because it's important. It's always good to talk about these things. But I want to just say this, okay? We all have our thoughts and opinions and feelings, right? But my thing is this: until we have all of the facts, it's really bad. It's a bad look to start pointing fingers at this one and that one, and this one deserved this, and you live this life and this is what you get. That is not something, and it's everybody's prerogative to say that, but I'm just saying, for me, I have spent my whole entire life as a New York City police officer and detective, 20 plus years, going to families and making notifications. So no matter how good or bad the person was that got murdered, it's just not a good look to go and say, well, you play with fire, you get burned. This is how it goes. We know that's a fact, but it's not a great look to do that and say that. These families are looking. They have said that we are looking. They see things. They go on social media and they see stuff. So don't be that person that is putting nasty comments when an unborn baby was murdered in the womb. This is all together. All three of them died together. So that's all I'm saying. Try to be kind a little bit. Try to hold back some of your thoughts. It's just not a good look. I'm going to wrap it up because I got to get to work in the morning. Ed Wallace and I are going to continue doing our coverage on this case. I encourage you guys to leave us comments down below. Follow us on all social medias. One word, DutyRon. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Follow me. Also, we're on TikTok. Ed Wallace and I know we're not swinging from poles, but we do upload our YouTube videos, our true crime videos, onto TikTok. So it's the same thing. One word, DutyRon. And Ed and I are going to be doing some in-person shows. He's going to come right here in the studio. And I'm going to set up a second mic for him right next to me here. We'll both be in the shot. And Ed Wallace and I will be doing videos together in the studio. So I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to say good night to each and every one of you. I want to thank all of you guys for hanging out here for 40 minutes. Guys, I'll see you on the next one. Remember, stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Make sure you know your surroundings. And as I always like to end these, God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat and all victims of crime and their families. They need us now more than ever. Let's send them strength, prayers, and positive vibes. Be kind. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. Good night from New York City. We'll see you soon.